Hello everyone, and welcome back to this tutorial series on the theory of computation. In this video, we'll be looking at an exercise of converting an NFA into an equivalent DFA. So I've explained the intuition and the actual algorithm behind converting an NFA to a DFA. Now we're going to look at an example where I convert it from scratch, basically. So I have this following NFA, and I want to convert it to a DFA. Okay, so I'm actually going to do this on a new page. Let's do add a page. Okay, and let me just rewrite the NFA. Looks like this. Okay, right. Okay, so this is the NFA, and so the procedure, we could go through the procedure that I talked about last time, but really, at this point, it becomes a lot easier to just straight away start by making a table. So I'll make a table where this is the states in the new DFA. This is the transition for A, and this is the transition for B. Okay, so we always start with the start date, right? Start, or I guess you begin instead of saying begin the algorithm with the new start state of the DFA, right? And so that's always going to be the set containing only Q0. And so once you're at the set containing only Q0, you want to know all of the possible states that you can reach when reading an A and a B. Well, when you read an A, the only place that you can go to is Q1, right? So you get the set containing Q1. When you read a B, well, there is no transition for B in the NFA, right? So in the NFA, delta Q0B is actually the empty set. So that's actually what we're going to put down here. Okay, so we have the empty set and the set containing Q1. So actually, we have two new states here, right? We have the empty set and the set containing Q1. So let's add them to our table. So we have the set containing Q1 and the empty set. So the empty set is actually super easy to fill out. From the empty set, you transition back with A and B to the empty set because it has no transitions, right? So you transition back to the empty set. Okay, now Q1 is slightly more interesting. If you're at Q1 and you're reading an A, then the only place you can go to is back to Q1, right? If instead of reading an A, you read a B, then you can either go to Q1 or to Q2. So either Q1 or Q2. And so here we have a new state, right? New state is created. Okay. So we're going to add the new state that's been created to the states in our DFA, which is the leftmost column, and we're going to repeat the process, right? So if you're at Q1 and you read an A, you go back to Q1, right? If you're at Q1 and you read an A, you go to the empty set, right? And so you take the empty set union the set containing Q1, that gives you the set containing Q1. For B, if you're at Q1 and you read a B, you can either go to Q1 or to Q2. If you're at Q2 and you read a B, you can't go anywhere, right? So the final state that you would go to in the DFA would be Q1 and Q2. Okay, so if we actually draw this, right? So drawing this, Q0 should be the start state of my DFA. Then if I read a B, I go to the empty set, which is a dead state, right? If instead I read an A, then I go to Q1, right? This is Q1. From Q1, if I read an A, I go back to myself. If instead I read a B, I go to Q1 and Q2, right? And this is going to be an accept state because Q2 in my NFA was an accept state. And that's the only state in my DFA that contains Q2 that contains a final state. And the other thing is that the empty string is not accepted. So Q0 should not be the final state. Okay, and then I just forgot to add the transitions here. So if you're at the state Q1, Q2, and you read a B, you go back to yourself. If instead you read an A, you go back to Q1. Okay, so this is the final converted DFA. So this is the converted, equivalent converted DFA M. And so we can notice here that the strings accepted by this NFA were strings that started with an A, had some kind of word after it, and then ended with a B, right? So this accepts strings that start with A and end with B, okay? But that's exactly what this machine is also going to accept, right? So if the machine starts with a B, that's an immediate reject. If it starts with an A, right, then you search for the last B, right? So if you're reading A's, you're still searching for the B. Once you read the B up, maybe that's the last one, so you get to the accept state. If you read more B's, that doesn't really matter. You stay in the accept state. But if you read an A, you have to go back and start searching again for the last B. Okay, so this is definitely accepting the same language. Okay, okay, and so that's from start to finish an exercise about converting a NFA to a DFA.